Hi, everybody. Good morning. So today's going to be our third day working on our final project, our cross-text thematic essay. And today we'll be transferring the information from our outline onto our rough draft. And we'll be assisting our students with doing that today. There'll be a short do now warm-up routine where we'll be reviewing our peer reviews that we had conducted at the end of yesterday's lesson. We'll be introducing to our students how to set this up and how to begin to transfer information from their outline into an essay format. Today's purpose: writers, even professional writers, often say that the first word is the hardest to write. Is that true for you? If so, then you may find the sentence starters and transition words on the next slide helpful for you. Right on. As we've seen, we've provided numerous supports for our students, so none of them should ever be stuck on the first word. We've provided numerous sentence starters and scaffolding for students to piece together the various elements of an extended essay response. Every student could certainly respond to portions of the prompt or to even choose quotes and just analyze the quotes. So every student should be able to submit some form of writing demonstrating their understanding of the themes in the text and possibly even making connections to their own prior experiences in their personal lives or to other texts. Now, it's good to review again the sentence starters and transition words at this time. It's also, at this time meaning in today's lesson, and it's also helpful to review once again the overall writing format of the essay, as well as the components for addressing text evidence and incorporating text evidence into an essay response. Finally, there's a few closing and connecting activities to wrap up today's lesson. Students could reflect on which sentence starters and transition words they preferred and they found useful in their writing. Students could complete an additional peer review activity where they begin to look at each other's rough drafts. Students could further discuss their own connections to the stories to possibly help recall their memory so they could recall other events and information from the different stories and to possibly gain a better sense of how those characters overcame difficulties. If time remains, or if students maybe wanted to take a break from writing, they could take a deeper look at this poem, Sympathy, by Maya Angelou, a very famous poet. So this could possibly be an extension activity for students to look at. Now let's jump right into today's lesson. Can somebody please read today's essential question? Good. How do we overcome difficulties? Again, we're writing an extended response about how the characters in the different stories had sometimes similar ways of overcoming difficulties, but in different circumstances. Can somebody please read today's 2 lesson objectives? Good. To express ideas clearly with peers, building on the ideas of others. Good. As we saw yesterday, students began working on peer reviews where they looked at each other's writing and offered feedback to help each other improve in their writing. Students will be reflecting on their peer review and possibly conducting an additional peer review at the end of today's lesson. Many students are sometimes reluctant to participate in peer reviews, but it's important to explain that the peer review is an important step in the writing process and an excellent way for students to get early feedback on their writing before a teacher looks at their responses. Secondly, we're going to acquire and accurately use academic and content-specific words and phrases. Yes, we're going to be using certain transition words and academic phrasing. This text demonstrates, this conveys, and other similar phrasing to introduce our text evidence and to show that we have a strong grasp of the content we're trying to relay to our readers. Now let's take a look at our warm-up question. In the last lesson, you reviewed your partner's outline and prepared some feedback. Share that feedback with your partner now. So if the students didn't have a chance yesterday, to provide feedback with their partner, they could do so now. If they didn't have a chance to finish the peer review, they could also do so now. Students should, to demonstrate their completion of the peer review, should indicate one glow and one grow of their partner. One thing the partner did well and one area where the partner could improve. At this time, you could pause the video and give students a chance to complete the activity and share out as well. Some possible responses that students may say. One thing that I liked about your outline was that you provided good examples from the story, that you provided good evidence, that your examples included relevant quotes. Secondly, one area of your outline that you may want to improve is adding more relevant examples and adding more explanation of how the characters changed. Many students could really use more support with further analyzing their evidence. While students are oftentimes more successful at identifying and paraphrasing their evidence, they often struggle with analyzing it and connecting it to the central idea in order to build a stronger argument for their claim. Now today, students are going to begin to turn their outline into a first draft. Of course, many students are going to be at different paces at this point, and that's okay. It's important to provide individual support and to help students improve from where they start to get to a higher level when they finish. First, open your Unit 4 thematic essay, which is the shared document that's available in the Video Adapted Resources folder that can be modified to meet the needs of your individual students. And in addition, it's possible to create 2 alternate versions of this document in order to differentiate for your beginning students and your more advanced students as well. The document could be shared with the teacher, or if this is done through Google Classroom, teachers would be able to monitor their student writing that way. Okay, again, the sentence starters and transition words are included again, and it's also a good time for teachers to review, again, these sentence starters and prompts. Again, it's important to show exactly how these prompts are going to be used in the essay. So again, it's important to review, again, some of the concepts from yesterday, that the essay must be written in a certain format, where each paragraph has its own mini format. And again, it's important for students to understand the background of this, but then to also show them exactly how it's done by providing the sentence starters and clear organization. If students need more time to work on their outline or they need more support, students can have that time as needed. Today, students would be taking information from their outline and they could be copying and pasting it into this and then revising it after, or editing it as they write. So they could look at their outline and then retype it down here while revising it. Students could come up with a title, and you could even provide various sentence starters, again, so students could see how this outline can quickly turn into an extended response essay. Again, it's most important to provide individual support and to encourage our students from wherever they are to keep working and to keep trying to improve. Okay, so following the lesson, teachers could wrap up the lesson by reviewing some of the sentence starters, the transition words that students may have used. They can save some time for students who are maybe ahead or making progress on their writing to pair up and to provide each other a peer review in order to get some immediate feedback. Students could further discuss the texts if they may need a review of some of the different texts, or they're not sure about how they may explain the character's actions and how the character overcame their difficulty. And finally, there's an extension activity related to Maya Angelou's poetry. So at this time, you could encourage your students to open their document and to start to transition from finishing their outline and to begin writing the rough draft of their essay. So I hope you enjoy today's lesson. Make sure to support your students as much as possible with their writing and keep them encouraged. And I think your students will be really proud with their final results. Thank you so much and enjoy today's lesson.